Today's project is going to be getting celosia planted, so I'm just going to start with that and see how far we get. I'm going to be planting it in my vegetable garden at the top, so I'm going to go gather my supplies and I'll meet you up there. Here's my tray of celosia. Because I have them mass planted and I never got them potted up, I'm probably going to do the clump method with most of these. Some of them are far enough apart that I'll be able to separate them out. But a lot of them will be, the roots will be entangled, so on those ones I will probably just clump plant them. And because they're starting to bloom, I don't know if you can see that, but these are starting to bloom, I will be trimming them back before I plant them, so that way they can focus on getting their roots established. Look how yellow that plant is. This is why I'm trying to get them out today. All right, I'm going to go ahead and set you up and get started.
I got patchouli in my pockets, wool socks in my shoes. Rolling down the back road singing Grateful Dead tunes. I played checkers with an old fella at a roadside stand. He said, son, you might stay lost if you don't have a plan. They call me a drifter, a twist in the grain, but I follow where the fireflies whisper my name. I got one hand thumbing, one hand doing. Wide West Virginia wind hitching me a ride. I've seen hollers sing a love song, rivers carve a rhyme, trading meals for the stories that I gather over time. You can call it strange, you can call it fate, but I call it home, and it sure feels great. Stopped off at a diner where the jukebox still plays. Met a girl named June who made me question my ways. She had a tattoo of Orion in a steelworker's hands. Said, you ain't gotta roam just to take a stand.
So I got all my celosias planted, and along the front edge of the bed I planted some lobelia that I had winter sowed, and I clump planted that as well. So let me turn you around here and show you what all I got done. Just for reference, this is my bed where I've got all my tomatoes, and yes, I do need to come up here and get the what grass weed eated. But I don't know if you can see that. Take it a little closer. There's celosia all through there, and these little clumps in the front, those are lobelias that I winter sowed. But there's all of those. And then I did the same thing on this side. All kinds of celosias, and in the front, lobelia. And yes, they're very yellowed, and that's only because they've been in their container for too long and they've need planted for a while now. This is the back side of the strawberry berry garden that I was working on a week or so ago. And it's at the very end of my rows in my vegetable garden. Like, there's peppers, there's tomatoes, and that side there has peppers. And then along the very end here, in this little triangle area, that's where the celosia is. I'm so glad I was able to get them planted. They've been neat and done for a while, and I think this is the latest I've ever been planting out annuals and things like that. But at the beginning of planting season, we were still building, like trellising and rows and all that. Plus, we had kind of a late frost this year. Well, it wasn't a frost, but it was too cold to chance it. Let's put it that way. Upper 30s. We're a little bit later this year than they have been the previous years. So even if everything would have been done, I still would have planted out slightly late, just not as late as I ended up planting. I hope to have a beautiful display. One year I planted I want to say it's a couple years ago I planted, in 2024, I planted these two ends with mostly Celosia, and it was just a very beautiful display. So I kind of just wanted to copy that. I'm going to go take a break and charge my battery a little bit because my camera's about to die. And then I will see you out here for another task. I went in and got a drink and charged my camera, and I'm back out here to work on another project. This right here is my asparagus bed, and I started weeding it, and I didn't get the whole thing finished. So the goal today is to finish getting this weeded and then hopefully getting the asparagus in my grow bags planted over here. But the first step in that process is to get this weeded, so I'm going to put on some music and get started.
They say you can't be both grounded and free, but I met a stargazer sitting in a booth next to me. I got one hand in my pocket, one hand by my side. West Virginia trooper offered me a ride. I've heard farmers sing a love song, woodworkers bust a rhyme, traded weed for the stories that I gather over time. You can call it strange, you can call it fate, but I call it life, and it sure feels great. Once I thought I needed some far away.
So here's the after, and this will look better after it rains. It'll settle the mulch. This right here is peanut shell, and those are my walkways, and then I mulched around my asparagus and my strawberries. And I do have a few more asparagus to add to this, but I'm going to probably do that tomorrow or the next day because it's taken all my energy to get this done. Whenever I went in earlier to charge my battery, it didn't charge all the way because I wasn't in there for very long. So my battery ran out before I expected it to. I've still got like 3%, so I'm trying to get this aftershot recorded before it runs out. I've been outside pretty much all day except for that one break I took. So I'm going to go inside, wash my hands, relax, maybe take a shower before it's time to do dinner. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it so much. I will see you on the next one. Bye.